Welcome to our mini lecture on writing at work, working in groups. This lecture will cover the first 4 stages in Tuckman's linear model of project development, leaving off the 5th, adjourning. We'll focus on these 4 because it's there that you can figure out how to get through the rough patch of the storming stage. In the end, I'll cover some tips on professional teamwork. So of Tuckman's 5 stages, the first 4 happen while you are an active member of a group. All 4 of these are pointing toward the 5th stage, adjourning, which is when you'll have a sense of achievement after having completed your goal and receive some recognition for your accomplishments. The first stage, forming, is when you meet your group mates and get down to the business of organizing yourselves and your timeline. Who is best suited to completing which tasks? By when should they be finished? What are the rules around meetings and other types of communication? How will you communicate? How often will you do so? And what will you do if something goes wrong? No matter what you do or how well you do during the forming stage, you should expect to hit storming, where there will be some sort of conflict that has to be resolved. The stressor could be external, like a shifting deadline, but the nature of working in a group is figuring out how to work with these particular people in these particular circumstances, and you should expect some conflict as you do so. The third stage is norming. It's when you look at what happened during the storming stage and modify the rules and roles for your group in order to address the cause of any conflicts. Once you've effectively come to a consensus, you'll naturally move on to the 4th stage in the process, performing. Thanks to the conflicts that revealed themselves in storming and the way that the group responded to them in norming, the group is able to move toward its goals appropriately and to ultimately achieve its purpose. So let's talk about how to make it through storming. Here are 4 suggestions. First, remember that storming is so normal that it's part of the formal process of group work. It isn't a failure on your part, and it also isn't the entire process. The way you approach the conflict will help you move through and past it, and will leave you in a stronger position and with a stronger group than before. Remember the different types of communication, that is, interpersonal, intrapersonal, group, and public. How can you effectively use these here, and how might they currently be contributing to the conflicts that you're experiencing? Check out the rules and roles that you agreed to at the beginning. Review them and reassess them. Consider how they might need to change in order to help you all be successful. And don't hesitate to call in for assistance if you need to. Make sure that your facilitator or project manager knows about any continuing conflict. Together, your group might also determine that this is an issue you need outside assistance to solve. Throughout it all, remember that you are working to address situations and behaviors rather than people or personalities. The issue isn't that Peter is lazy or that Mary is a mess. It's that Peter hasn't been meeting deadlines or Mary's notes are difficult to understand. You want to find a way to address whatever situation you've encountered in a way that works the best for the group as a whole. Targeting people or their personalities with your complaints will rarely help you resolve conflict any more quickly. At worst, it can actually escalate matters. Let's end with 3 final tips for professional correspondence. First, make sure that everyone knows what's expected of them by providing clear roles and responsibilities. What does it mean to take on editing for a project in this group, in terms of the work you would need to do and the deadlines you would need to observe? Be honest about your preferences and abilities. If you're not comfortable with grammar or editing someone else's work, well, Let your group members know. Finally, establish clear communication guidelines. How often will group members need to check in, and how will you do so? What events should always trigger an email or a phone call, and to whom should the outreach be directed? The more concrete your group is here, the better everyone knows what to do and what to expect. That's it for this lecture. I wish you the best of luck as you move forward in your groups and with your group work.